I got revenge on my biggest bully though, and I did it by mistake. And it was so interesting to me because it's one of those things like that's just how the world works, you know. So I used to troll a lot, like, and I had this thing. And this is maybe before MySpace or during I think it was during MySpace years. I used to have, I take, you know, when Listerine strips came out, like those little blue Listerine strips, I used to Photoshop like blue lips on a bunch of animals and be like, I gave 30 Listerine strips to a kitten, right. You know, and then have like, and I would call it, I had a website called bluetorture.com. And I made up like fake, like where people would send me photos like, oh, you know, I gave 20 Listerine strips to my dog. And I just put a little blue on their lip. Like it doesn't even make your lips blue. So, you know,
at all,
but
right.
It still worked, like to the point where PETA, like on their message boards had many threads about my website.
Really?
And like I was like, you know, getting a lot of people like talking, like trying to get my website down and stuff. So then I decided to have this, like I found a picture on the internet of a box of puppies. And I'm like, we're having our first Blue Torture puppy party. And we're going to have pizza. I have a box of puppies and over 200 Listerine strips that we can give to the dogs. And like looking back, it's like, who would do this?
Not only that, no dog's going to eat those. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and who would really fucking believe that?
Right. And so I made like a fake flyer. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to put my bully's address on there. So if all those PETA people will go to his house. And so when I put that up, on the message board, they're like, we're having a meeting. We're all going
to... They're storming Area 51, bro.
Yeah. They're going to storm this guy's house.
For real.
For real.
This poor son of a bitch.
Yeah, I know, this poor guy. And it makes it a million times worse because what I didn't know for real is the guy, my bully, he sold drugs. And he got arrested or something happened where he wasn't at his house and he left his dog there for a week inside of his house with no food and water or something like that. And that same day, like it was on the news where the neighbors called the police and like this man, we're here outside the home of so and so. He left his dog here and the conditions, and they were showing inside of his house. That was the same day where all the protesters came to that. I swear to God.
So that's on news too?
They didn't show the part, but I remember going on the message board going, we got there were the police there. They already caught him. I think they thought maybe they busted them already or something.
They got you.
But that dude, like, I don't think he knows. Like, he was all over the news. He got in a lot of trouble, and he had a gang of maybe like 30 protesters there, and on something completely different.
Right. Can you imagine if you walked outside your house, there's people yelling about giving Listerine strips.
Yeah,
what the fuck you all talking about?
So
my dog's got black lips.
I did get in trouble from MySpace because I made a video for the website when I put that flyer out, I was like, I want more protests. I want this to be the biggest thing ever. So I made a video where I just took a Listerine strip and I put a snail on top of it and filmed the whole thing and sped it up. Because fun fact, if you guys have a snail sitting around, Listerine strips make them start foaming up and they start melting into a blob. Like whatever.
Really?
It's the grossest thing ever.
How the hell did you figure that out?
I didn't know that was going to happen. I thought it was just going to be, because I knew like if you threw salt, like we used to always put salt on snails and worms and shit, it would freak out.
Yeah.
So I was like, it has to do something. So I just filmed it and it just started foaming up and melting.
And MySpace got on you?
Oh, MySpace got so pissed. Like, you can't show that's whatever, torture or something. But
it's escargot, motherfucker.
I know, it's a snail. I could have stepped on it. But that really, like, it set the PETA off like crazy. That snail video, like, they used to pass that around and stuff like that.
Really? They're passing it around and sharing it?
Yeah. I used to do a lot of trolls, though. Like, I have another website called letsfindjesus.com. I think that's still up, where it just trolled, like, religious people and stuff like that. But I would, like sell things on it, like a painting of a black Jesus stealing a baby and stuff like that. And, like, because they hate they back then they hated
Ridiculous.
they hated Black Jesus. Like especially 10 years ago, 13 years ago, whenever I made
They
the
still
hate Black Jesus.
Black
but I
Jesus.
really pushed the Black Jesus shit on people, and I think I used to sell like barbershop hair, like
From Jerusalem.
I forget what it was, and then made a bunch of
From one of Jesus's haircuts. Those people got everything they fucking deserved to get.
It was
Fuck,
it's
you
so
believe
funny.
that's Jesus' hair from a Nazareth haircut.
Yeah. And it was so funny because I did have animal control call me up on the Blue Torture thing. Like somehow they got my number, or they came to my house and they left a note. They left a note because they found out who I was and where I lived somehow. And they left a note on my door, and then they said, please call us as soon as you can. And I don't know if it was about Blue Torture or not. It was about another troll I did. And I called, and I filmed the phone call. Well, and I think it's online somewhere still, but it's the guy goes, well, we got a report here that you blah, blah, are doing something. And then I'm like, oh, that's just a troll. I'm just trolling somebody. He goes, trolling? Like, this is before trolling was, I guess, more common. He goes, you know what that means, right? And I'm like, well, playing a joke. And he goes, that's not what it means, man. It means chasing guys. And I'm like, I've never heard that.
Me either.
I think that's the original,
Guess who was trolling?
Yeah,
that dude.
yeah.
Let me tell you what that means.
Oh yeah, he seemed like
Fuck yeah. I've never heard that. If anything, it would sound to me like a dude chasing after ladies.
Yeah.
But not or I guess you could be trolling
he said
for any
it was
ass.
trolling for guys.
I guess that's
I would love to know if that's. I don't think I ever looked it up.
I've never heard that.
Yeah, I never looked it up either. But he said the recording was so funny. He goes, well, I guess that's a pretty funny joke, and so we're just going. I'll let you
he
be.
liked it.
Yeah,
he's animal control.
He's like, but if I ever need to come over and check on the welfare of your cat, everything's. And I'm like, yeah, come anytime. He goes, all right then. I'm just going to write this off as a joke. The video is hilarious. I'll try to find it and post it again somewhere, but it's pretty funny.
Now, were you doing that sort of stuff to your bullies back in the day? Like,
yeah,
trolling back then was what?
Our nerd squad would we would do a lot but it was all like we didn't have computers. So the trolling would be like would find a tack and put it on the seat of one of the kids, and they would sit on it and be like and shit like that. One time, this is all right. So I don't know if they still do this anymore, but we used to in middle school dissect cow eyeballs. Like we all have an eyeball.
Well,
and
did we? We did frogs and
hearts,
worms. We did a
heart.
Heart wasn't until high school, I think. But we might have done an eyeball for something.
Yeah, cow eyes is what we used to do. And I remember one of our bullies, his locker was right next to mine, so I knew his combo. And so one time, I was like, I'm going to put both of these eyeballs, like I stole 2 cow eyeballs and put it in his locker. And I put it so like right when you open it up, it looks like it's looking at you. I didn't know he had chicken pox. I didn't know he had chicken pox. So he was out of school for a week. One day at school, we got there and they were like, everybody, we need to meet outside. The fire department's here. There's a smell. Like they thought there was a dead body or something like that. They're going through everybody's lockers. They go through the locker. They find, I can't even imagine what they looked or smelled like.
A week later.
Oh. It was like, I think I did it like on a Thursday, and then Friday he wasn't there. And this was like Monday or something. They got in and it smelled like death in there. And they finally found it. The kid got suspended because they thought he did it or something like that. Yes. I think he got suspended or he got detention or something like that. I can't remember.
But it went on him.
But what was great is that we didn't, like, all of us were sitting outside for maybe like a couple hours. I remember we didn't have school for like a half time. Day. So it was pretty cool for that.
I've been saw what you did.
Yeah.
We all saw it.
Yeah, and then we would do like shit like that.
Did it ever escalate into fights? Did you get in a lot of fights?
No, I've only been in 2 fights my whole life, and it was with my bully, one of my bullies. The first one, I beat the shit out of him. And
you did?
Yeah, and it was one of those things where I'm on top of him, just fucking ground and pound, and he would be crying, and he's like, please stop. And then I would
Christmas story.
Yeah, and then I get up though, and then he starts coming after me again. I'm like, dude, I got off, and then I knocked him down again and started, and then he was just a mess. And then a year later.
Did it end?
The second time,
it took
no.
ass beating?
For a year, he left me alone. And then when I was a freshman in high school, we were going down the hallway, and he like kicked the back of my foot or something like that. And he goes, meet me outside at lunch or something like that. And I'm like, oh God, he's probably been training, you know,
right.
he's probably been doing like hula hoops in
Yeah.
his backyard
Yeah.
or something like that, whatever we used to train. And I beat the shit out of him the second time. And I remember that second time, he left me alone forever because that second time was like, you didn't learn the first time.
Yeah.
Haven't been in a fight since. Like,
So 2 fights with the same person. And
same
only 2
person.
fights you've ever had.
my whole-
You're like,
yeah.
Good
and
for you. You beat your bully.
Yeah. I'm really good at not getting out of fights or getting out. I never get to that point of fighting. Like, I've had people try to fight me a few times.
What do you do? Just use your humor?
No, I just go, dude, get away from me. I'm not going to fight. You know, like I
I'm
talk.
in my 40s. Bro.
Yeah. No, yeah.